Yes, we are live. Thank you, Google, for letting us know that in a very weird way. But welcome to another weekly hangout, guys. This is Thunder E from Border and with me I have Mr. Lex Amonier, our site editor. How's it going, man?
Not much. How you doing, guys?
Good, good, good. So we are up and live, and we have a few topics this week to discuss. So let's get right to it. This week, Amazon announced the Fire Phone. Long rumors. This has been now, mind you, this is not something that the rumors started this year. The rumors have been going on for about God, almost 2 years now. I mean, even before, even around when the Kindle
Yeah.
first came out, right? Everybody thought like Amazon was going to announce a phone then, and that's not the case. So finally, the Fire Phone is here. If you want to check out some more in-depth details into that, check out our hands-on type video. We kind of have like first impressions. We did a longer discussion, but I wanted to put it out there. The Fire Phone is it's a 4.7-inch smartphone from Amazon, and it's got that 3D feature that they talked about, but it's not really 3D. It's called dynamic perspective. It's a little
Dynamic
different.
perspective.
Yes,
Yeah.
but what really is the push for the Fire Phone is the shopping, as you can expect.
Yes.
It's not about the 3D or dynamic perspective. It's not about the fact that Amazon has made a phone. No, it's about simply one thing. You can buy now directly because you think about it, right? For the last couple of years, we were talking about it. We're like, you know what? Amazon should have an app where I can just scan, right? And then I can
Yeah.
buy anything directly. But then I realized that Apple and Google don't want that, especially with like things like book or music. They want you to go through the Play Store,
Yeah.
you know. So there's no way. I think they limited that aspect there. But now with the Fire Phone, you can buy anything
And they'll
if you
find it.
want. Yeah, you find it. I mean, like that new feature called the Firefly is really in depth at picking up little things. Whether it's you go into a store, you see a book, it takes a picture already. It's like, we have it in our catalog. You can buy it. Or whether it's you just going all the way to Best Buy, right? You see something like, it's too expensive, and like, oh wait, I just thank you very much. It's coming home, you know. And yeah, it's really interesting that's there. So I want to get your quick thoughts. I know we've talked about this again, but on that aspect of shopping, and this really is the shopping phone. What do you get? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I believe during the presentation they had over 100 million selections that you can choose from and using Firefly, and the quick access is the camera button. You would just hold it down. So they got the quick access point on cue, and then once you actually use it, it's instantaneous. I mean, it had a second to 2 second responsive times to find what you're looking for in Amazon store. So from that point, Amazon has got it on point. My big thing is maybe like the services. That will probably be the bigger impact on the phone than the actual scanning of things. I think we're a far ways from actually like scanning everything that we want to buy. I still don't feel as if people are comfortable with that kind of mechanism yet. Maybe in like the next generation of millennials, but as of right now, I think the services like the Prime Music, the movies, everything else that you get with Prime will be the bigger aspect of
See,
it.
I disagree. I think people are ready for that. People just don't know. I don't think people know. I think people just don't know. I don't think people are not ready because the reason I say that is that Amazon customers are used to using Amazon shopping services. Trust me. I've seen that from a lot of friends who started off with Prime early. I mean, I joined Prime kind of late, but they joined Prime a little bit early. Hey, whoa, 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 whoa.
Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, like just quietly just snuck in there. It's like let him finish.
So
Go
slide into the
ahead.
DMs like Bowman.
All right. How's it going, Warren?
All right, thumbs up. Let's do this. In
All
an
right, we're on.
extremely messy living room. So
Oh,
please pay no mind to the extremely messy living room.
Yeah, yeah.
it's all good.
Just know this is what you call tech life, right? It may
Pretty
sound
much.
it may sound cool and nice, but then again, you got to clean up the mess, and sometimes that's like a whole weekend, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, I was talking about the Fire Phone, and the shopping aspects of it. So hey, actually, let me go to you since we haven't got your thoughts on this. I mean, we've talked about this, individually, but your
Yeah.
thoughts on the Fire Phone, and what that brings to the table, especially this, I say the shopping elements, because we know that the whole dynamic perspective really is like them just adding some kind of tech feature into it because they need to. So what do you think?
Um, really, I'm just very don't know. I know why they're doing this, but I think it's a little too late for them to start doing this. I actually have a video that's been yet to be uploaded yet. Now that I think about it, I was talking about Amazon's Fire Phone and sort of what their whole idea is, and it's not because they want to make a phone. It's that they run it. They to me the point, because I think the phone is useless outside of the scan feature. There's really nothing to really talk about it. It's
Yeah.
just a phone that's a Moto G with a better camera. But it's
Well.
it's a
Spec
Moto
wise,
it's the
spec
Moto
wise,
G with a better camera. It's
spec. It's a
legitimately
snap.
is.
It's a
To say
Snapdragon
you can't
800.
compare that. You can't.
Yeah. I
I'll
mean, come
reserve
on.
my
Let's
comments.
let's
Yeah.
let's let's at least bump it up to any device that it's like an Asus
Pad phone.
iPhone X.
Yeah.
Even that's probably got better specs. Like, come on.
No,
This has got a bigger screen.
It-
And probably a better screen. Like, come on. This. I wouldn't call it the Moto X because the Moto X has got a fancier processor inside of it. I think it's more on that Moto G side of things. But
no, it's the same processor. It's a Snapdragon 800 though.
yeah, but no, they have like.
I mean, they have the X, but
Yeah.
I mean, spec wise, I can't put it to the Moto G.
It's
Come on.
it's literally a Pad phone X without the 1080p display and 5 inches. That's exactly
Yeah,
what it
I
is.
would agree. I would agree. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Sounds like a Moto G to me. Outside of the processor, better camera, sounds like a Moto G.
It has a 13 megapixel camera. It's the same as the Pad phone.
It's better than the iPhone.
No,
Better
that's
than the iPhone camera.
it has
And
an
it has,
OIS.
and it has OIS. Yeah.
Oh, we don't know. We don't know yet if it's better than the iPhone camera.
No,
13
I meant
megapixel.
according to CEO when he
Jeff
showed us.
Bezos.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But the whole point of this phone is to do something that Google tried to do, wasn't really successful with it, and realistically, most companies aren't unless you have the deep pockets that Microsoft has and Apple has, and that's trying to create that ecosystem of hardware and software like Apple has, and trying to be where if you want to use Amazon services, you use it. Use their tablets, you use their phone. They have hardware because right now they run the same problem Google has is where to use their software and services, you got to rely on someone else's hardware to be able to do that. Google tried to do that with the Nexus program for a while, and I think they kind of came to the idea that we're just too little, too late to this game, and this is not where we really want to be as hardware is changing and it's getting more to be about software and services. We can't really keep up or compete with the likes of Apple, who's had this and had brand recognition and a proven track record that they built over 20 years or so. To have that ecosystem being able to deliver hardware and software on all their platforms and keep people tied into that particular iOS and Mac OS sort of software and service. It's them trying to do the same thing with now all of a sudden it's labeled Fire OS. I don't know where the hell that came from. Now they finally got a name for the operating system on there. They didn't used to not name it before.
No, they did name it. They named it with the last Kindle that they. They did name it.
But they're trying to do the set top TV, which is the Fire TV, which is the Apple TV. Then you have the Kindle Fire, the tablets out there, the Android tablets are responses to iPads, iPad minis, and some other Android tablets out there. They don't have a really computing device, but they now the phone, it's all in responses to trying to keep people locked into an ecosystem, and they have it kind of differently because they really can't use the Google Play Store at all for anything. So it's really
you can't use any other stores at all.
Yeah, so it's all locked into their app store, their services, their stuff that they have to make and do all these things. And granted, Amazon is a very powerful tech company, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. If many software services and stuff run on Amazon servers and their cloud platform, and they have all these things available, but they never really had the devices and software on the consumer side to be able to use it to their advantage to be able to get into consumer market deeper, and they're just now trying to do this, but I think it's just a too little, too late type of situation right now.
Well, yeah, I would agree it's a little too late in that sense, but I think somebody made a point. They said Amazon may not be trying to actually push the phone itself. I think what it is really is pushing Amazon Prime. right? Because especially the fact that you're getting 1 year free subscription on Amazon Prime with the phone, which basically means the phone is what, $100, right? That's what it is.
Yeah,
The phone is
yeah,
$100.
basically. Yeah.
And if you're like us, right? If we got the phone, it's $100. Like, so I did a little thing. I talked to a bunch of friends who I knew had Amazon Prime who were looking for phones, and a bunch of them, actually all of them, were interested in the phone except for one reason, except the two who were on AT&T. They were like, I most likely will switch because I use Amazon that much. The rest were like, it's on AT&T, bust.
Bust.
they're like bust. They're like,
I don't even see the most dedicated of Amazon users wanting to just use an Amazon phone to what? Scan things? I mean, 90% of that phone could be done in 2 apps.
yeah, you could be done in 2 apps. Yes, you could be done with the scanning app, but you remember, Amazon doesn't let you. I mean, not Amazon. Google and Apple does not let them scan and directly buy straight from Amazon. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You cannot do that because they want to go through Play stores. They want you to do any of that.
I think you can scan and buy if you scan through their app, though.
Oh, Amazon app? No,
I
you
think
can't buy. You can't buy still.
No, I was able to scan something. It brings it up, and it'll show it to you in the store. I think if you do it through their app, you can.
Oh, okay.
There is this barcodes feature inside the Amazon app
So it lets you actually
like,
buy. Because I remember the first time I used it didn't let me buy anything. But I mean, I think on that aspect, yeah, I'm pushing Prime. But I mean, I agree. It's at that point where, say this was last year, I agree. If this was last year, same time last year, probably better traction of it, at least. This should have been 2 years ago, in my view. But I think last year we're
more like 4. More like, I'm legitimately saying more like 4, because look at it this way. How long has Apple's ecosystem been in a lock and been at the top the way they are?
No. 4 years. But
think
the
about
thing
who's
is,
the only company that's right now have any actual competitive view towards them. Microsoft. Why can Microsoft do that? Because they have the damn money to do it.
No. I agree 4 years ago. But the tech level 4 years ago. I mean, let's just be honest. If they could do this 4 years ago, they could have. But they weren't there. So just let me imagine that. I mean, they had the server background for it, but I don't think they had the things in front to actually set things up properly, which is why
they didn't have the
TV
infrastructure. They didn't have the team. Yeah.
Because even like stuff with Amazon Prime, Fire TV, were like, oh, come on, this should have been 2 years ago. But the things in front, because they weren't focused on that, so they didn't have anyone. They probably stole people from other companies just to get it up and running quickly, as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have the PR team. They didn't have the infrastructure. They didn't have anybody 4 years ago. And you got to understand, Amazon is a very low profit margin company. They don't make much profit on the revenue.
Yeah, their profit levels are actually, whenever they make a profit, it's like $1 billion max.
The max. So like their shareholders are like, you better not do anything out of the status quo to screw our stock. You got to be doing something right. So that's why it makes sense for them to be doing this in 2 years. They probably did tons of studies.
Yeah, their profit margins are surprisingly small for a company like that. But then because they sell a lot of goods.
Well, yeah, it's small, but at the same time they push so much volume that they make a crap ton of money doing that. I mean, and their money's not even in. Their money does not come from the store. Their money comes from all that E2C stuff, all the stuff from the back end.
I'm just saying that
that's where they make their bank.
But whenever you check their financials, though, for all that stuff they push, they're posting $1 billion profit. That is small for a company like Amazon.
Yeah, it's small like that.
Remember when people like.
It's small, but at the same time, it's kind of amazing that they're the last electronic retailer making money in that aspect. Because a lot of places make way less than that.
I agree, but remember we just stated that their money doesn't even come from selling. It's really all the server stuff that they. I mean, when you talk about servers, right? You're talking about either them, Cisco, or Microsoft Azure. That's it, right? Those are the 3 big boys in the server space.
Really? Well, there's one. Well, no, Cisco really doesn't. Cisco's more of networking than anything else. So really, IBM is kind of the other big place.
Yeah.
Either way,
it's truthfully Amazon. It's truly like 90% Amazon, then everybody else is kind of around. They really have a ridiculous, to the point where I think Netflix runs completely off of Amazon's servers, and a couple other major software and services completely run on their on their ecosystem.
That's
So
right.
that's where they kind of make their money from. So $1 billion actually to me is kind of surprising they top that, considering the low margins that it is in retail in
No.
general across the board.
But see, that's the thing for
No,
me. It's
yeah.
bad because most of the time, for the last couple of years, they've been posting very small losses of a couple of million, and I'm going, Amazon, the hell are you spending too much money? There's some overhead hanging there.
I think that also comes from the fact that
It's their reach. I mean, they have department warehouses everywhere. They have a huge employee base. Like they spend tons of money just to run what they do. It's
yeah.
literally a sky mall. So
Yeah,
Amazon has
that's
great
what
profit margins.
that's what they're trying to do essentially. And I also look at some of its you know, some of the sales, like some of their bigger sales, like certain items such as TVs and electronics and stuff like that, just have dropped in terms of what you can make off of them compared to stuff like clothing and other items outside of that.
But
Clothing,
have you noticed? Have you noticed with TVs though, and big items? Sorry to cut you off quickly. Is that they've changed the model of what they do with TVs and big items. They don't actually warehouse it anymore. They don't, because if you look at the TV postings, either from Samsung or the big, like the other retailers like PC Riches, who have their own warehouse, they don't actually warehouse in Amazon. So Amazon's almost taking that warehousing for those big items.
oh yeah, well
They're like, you know what, Samsung, keep your shit. I mean, we can post.
well, that was the whole point. They didn't, because the whole idea is that in retail, because when you buy those things, because you got to remember when Amazon has those, and if they have them out of their own distributing warehouse, they have to buy those from Samsung and store those. And there is a buyback, obviously, option that they can send them back to Samsung and get a certain amount of money from them, but they're losing money when they do that either way. So by not holding any of the stock at all, like the whole point of them, that whole the Prime thing and getting all these other stores and all these other services involved is to carry as little items as they possibly need to carry on their own, and just be a service on top of it. Very, very similar to the way a lot of those stores similar to Amazon, like I can't remember the name of it now. In China, there's like those three. What are their name? Alibaba and all those.
Alibaba doesn't stock anything at all.
It doesn't stock anything.
It's like eBay. It's more like eBay.
They don't stock anything at all. Actually, they're more of a SaaS company. They just offer their platform for other companies to make their stores and generate off of it, essentially. But that's where Amazon wants to get to. That's where they want to get to. They just want to be software and services, have the warehouses that are needed for
smaller goods,
common items, hot ticket items. They want to be able to do what a lot of retailers can do now, which is in real time, which you probably already can do. Walmart can do this, so I'm pretty sure they can do this too. Track a SKU, see where the SKU is hot, and then be able to move and move product and shift product in the regions that those areas are hot in, and to be able to like further service that customer to getting into that close to same day type of service.
Oh yeah, they definitely should, because
and that's a tall order to ask for.
No, but I mean they should be able to, because Walmart already does that, and Walmart spent the money on the IT infrastructure.
But Walmart does that through Walmart stores, and Walmart does that in their ecosystem of Walmart, which Walmart also, for the most part, still stocks the ridiculous crap out of their stores anyways.
But actually, also, you know why Walmart makes more money is because they're the king of pricing down. Yeah. I know people who've worked with Walmart and say, when you go to Walmart, let's say I developed this nail clip, right? And I was like, this is the most premium nail clip out there. It's been tested, and everybody's like, this thing's the shit, right? I'm gonna sell it for $30. I go to Walmart, and I'd be selling $30 at CVS, other places. I'm like, all right, time to expand it, right? And I'm thinking, if I go to Walmart, maybe I'll drop it to like 25, right? Maybe 25, maybe $22. I get to Walmart, Walmart's like $15. Take it or leave it, get out. I mean, like, seriously, they just tell you, like, do you want to sell it here? Oh no, just leave. Pick one.
Walmart as a whole is just a sickening industry.
And you're like,
I'm not a big fan of the way they treat their employees or some of their business practices, but I am also very intrigued on their technology, and how they run their business is one of the most amazing things that I would love to see how they do and how they price and what data they collect out of it.
It's all algorithm based. All of it.
It's very, very algorithm based, but it's
they have a solid system. I remember I was reading an article about it a while back, and they're like, their system really is solid. Like they've done a good job in the algorithm setup, so everything is almost real time in terms of the system. Now, restocking and shipping was where they were having issues, where getting people to or getting stuff to move from one store to another that's doing more with certain types of items was the issue. But I think they've eventually fixed a lot of that. But their system, especially remember those Walmart rollbacks. The reason why it worked so efficiently was because it didn't matter if the price was not on there. It just rolled it back for you. Remember, a lot of stores had that issue where if it's priced not on the sticker and
Yeah.
you could
Stuff that a lot of other places took too long to get onto. I'm looking at you, Best Buy. Took way too long. That was told a long time ago that those type of things need to happen. It's just like staying ahead of the curve, and that's what Amazon's trying to do here with their. But back to the whole
Fire phone.
Fire phone, and really wrapping that up because we kind of divulge very far into what Amazon's probably 5-year and 10-year outlook is. But this is this will exist for one phone, then it will disappear with the Facebook phone, and no one will ever know it existed ever again. That's basically what's going to happen.
I think it'll be longer. I think it'll be longer. I really think it'll be longer because
one phone.
Because I think Amazon is going to really try and push this one, especially around Christmas. Again, they're going to try to do a second push, and if they get any uptake from that around Christmas, then we might see something where there might be another iteration of this phone. It all depends. It all depends on Christmas. I think it all depends on Christmas.
They'll probably drop it up by another $100 come holiday season, so it'll be a $99 phone with a year of Amazon Prime. Consumers don't care what phone you have; they'll buy that real quick. So once that happens, it's going to be out there, and word of mouth is probably the best asset for Amazon right now.
Consumers care about the phones they have. They got to spend anything above free.
No. I agree on that, but let's put it this way: if that phone has any kind of word of mouth like Fire TV has gotten, because I wrote Fire TV off, I was like, whatever, and then you got it, Warren, right? You're like, this shit is pretty nice. I mean, that's all it needs to really do. Because it's not a phone that is built to be an S5 to take the world, right?
But my problem with that is the Fire TV is coming in a different spectrum where there's not a lot of devices. There's a lot of devices like that, but not a lot of. There's no heavy clear-cut winner. There's a lot of different things going around in that space. That space is still trying to be decided right now. This phone space is very, very decided right now.
Well, they're building
who dominates this.
That's all that matters.
It's clear who dominates this, and they're trying to go in and trying to beat these guys to it. Where you got to remember, okay, you want to offer your Amazon phone for whatever $99. You will see the S5 and the rest of them drop straight down with it. And how are you going to argue? Oh, go get the Amazon phone for $99. Go get the S5 for a penny. Like, I mean, that's going to be a very hard bargain. Like, they're going, if this would have came out in February where they had some time before the rest of the other phones came out, would have been great. But this thing's now going to go in direct competition with the iPhone, which we know that, when the new iPhone comes out, all the other ones drop down. And what is the highest selling phone every year? Last year's iPhone model is going for free.
I agree on that point, but again,
and their own algorithm's going to suggest it too. That's going to be the hilarious part. When you go on Amazon pages, they're going to say consumers that saw this also looked at this: an iPhone, an S4, an S5, and an HTC One's going to pop up right below that. Like,
I agree with that point,
people
but
know.
As not, see, the thing is, this is that they have from July to September to convince people that, again, it's not the phone they're selling. We all know that it's Amazon Prime. That really is what they're selling.
Services. Like,
it's not even the phone at all.
Okay, if that's the case.
But I'm saying that they have to convince people on that buying this phone makes your Amazon Prime extension, or you who've never used Amazon Prime, really worth it. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm just saying that's what they are selling. That's the honest truth.
If they have a great marketing campaign, they can get a good sizable consumer base to at least try it. And then
I'm just saying that's what they need to do. I'm not saying that I agree.
This reminds me what I said earlier to chat about 1+1 not reading a certain statement to themselves when they were decided to come up with a phone.
Amazon, but 1+1 was dumb.
No. But let me finish the statement.
Finish.
Amazon is saying, come buy our phone for $199 to pay on contract with AT&T for 2 years to get your Amazon Prime for free. Anywhere in that statement shows that you're getting Amazon Prime for free or Amazon Prime at a discounted rate.
Well,
when I could go get Amazon Prime by
seen a
itself for
marketing campaign?
$99 and not even have to deal with a contract, switching phone companies, or any of that.
No,
don't have to pay.
I agree, but for you, the educated customer, go to the Amazon page. It just says you buy this, you get a free Amazon Prime. I'm just saying that's literally how
Yeah,
they
until they
advertise.
until they click through it and realize they got to sign up with AT&T on a 2-year
No,
contract.
but at least but at
There it
least
goes.
but at least Amazon's putting it clearly. They say, look, you either get the family plan, you get regular, or you buy it out of contract, right?
And then
And I mean, I'm
and then
just saying that.
$650 for, and you probably don't get the Amazon for a year when you buy it off contract, because
No,
I'm
you
pretty
get
sure
it for a year too. Still get it for a year.
that's being subsidized probably by AT&T.
You still get it for a year when you pay $649.
So you just pay $649 for Amazon Prime to them, the $89.99.
I'm just saying that they did.
I'm just saying I
No,
feel like there was a sentence that
missed
they
my
didn't read to
point.
themselves.
No,
No, I
I'm saying-
understand your point. I know, I completely no, I do understand what you're saying and how Amazon's marketing this and putting
They
this
have
forward
to. They
for
have to.
average consumer and the way they're doing it and having to say this a certain way. But I'm just like, they didn't read a certain sentence back to themselves when they said this. If they just said 2 years Amazon Prime free, okay, that's actually a pretty good deal, because guess what? That's the length of the contract now, isn't it? This ain't even the length of the contract. Exactly. You know, and then you got to worry about AT&T coming with their next plan at the 24 whatever rate plus whatever. Consumers don't like doing math. They haven't figured this out yet. They just want to hit click, buy, and go. And none of this is coming beyond.
No,
click,
but
buy,
no,
and go.
it is. Wait a minute, it's not, okay, look, when you go there, go on the site right now. If you click $199, you're buying the phone with your contract done.
And then I have to figure out what plan I got, how much I'm paying per month on that plan.
Oh, come on, consumers do that all the time. They already do that.
Yeah, but
unless you're on T-Mobile, that's the only carrier that you don't do that on. Right?
But you're pushing it as saying, yeah, that's true. But you're pushing it as saying, but the Amazon Prime is the sell here. That's what they're selling. Did they read did they go in the marketing room and read this in front of them?
If you're going, no. But if you're going to sell Amazon Prime,
I think we should move on. I think we should move on.
Let me clarify this before we move on.
Yeah.
See, if you're going to sell Amazon Prime, you're not going to go there and tell customers, because you're buying this phone, you're getting $100 free. That's just a phrase they put in there. What you're going to tell customers is, when you buy this phone, this is what you get. Like Microsoft for the Xbox is like, when you get Xbox, you get all this stuff. That's the whole idea you push. You don't actually push the price of you're getting. You just say it's free with it, but then you're getting all this. Now, how effectively can they do that is the issue.
Yeah, most consumers are still used to that $199 price. They're not into the whole T-Mobile-like way yet. I mean, the next program is there, but not many people have used that yet, per se. So people are so used to $199 contracts. So you say, yeah, you get a brand new phone, but you get all this other stuff with it too. You can market that. It's not hard. Like they just have to do it right.
Market that, but the market doesn't mean anything unless you hit click and buy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if Amazon
goes.
consumers buy it. But speaking of T-Mobile, T-Mobile announced their Uncarrier 5.0 6.0. We're hoping for 7.0 at the event.
When
but
did 6.0 happen? It
was the same day. It was the same event.
When I saw it, I thought it was 5.0.
No, yeah, 5.0 was the first one they announced. It was
they
about
pulled a Winamp.
But no, it was the 5.0 was the expansion of the network and voice over what do you call it again? LTE, more markets. Is now like 116, I believe, like more larger markets and LTE expansion. And then 6.0 was on carrier music. So basically, starting on the 23rd, I didn't know because I had to max my own music out. T-Mobile allows you to stream music for free. If you have their simple choice plan, you're good. Which almost everybody should have now. They have one other plan that's lower, just to give you it's like a $10 lower base rate, and that's it. But if you're on their simple choice plan, you can stream music on your device for free on the major streaming services. So Pandora, Raspberry, Spotify, Milk from Samsung, and I think there's one more, I believe.
Is it no? The play music all access, or
I don't know if play music was mentioned. They said viewers should. It's like if you want anything added, you should
vote up. You can like put it. Yeah.
You can vote on that. I'm not sure. I don't think play music was in there, but so from 23rd you can basically stream your music. Which I mean, streaming music shouldn't take that much data in the first place, and you shouldn't be charged that much for it. So I was good to see. T-Mobile at least put that there. That's one of the things that we do a lot on our devices right now. I mean, I know
Yeah.
definitely Warren like uses Google Play Music constantly, right?
Oh yeah, constantly,
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. So
My favorite
so
service.
so basically that should be something. I mean, like if consumers are using so much, why tax them? And I agree with what John Ledger was saying there, that you know what, hey, you know, let's make it simple enough for our consumers that you don't have to worry about it. You know, you can just play your music and you're good. So I wanted to
Okay,
ask
so
your
I'm
thoughts.
looking at it now. I just went to the website now. They do have options that you can, I guess,
Vote.
to vote for, so that they know. So they have Prime Music, Beats Music, Google Access Music, Groove Shark, Django Radio, Last FM, RDO, Sirius XM. Who the hell listens to that? Sony Music, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, and Xbox Music are all on that list.
Oh,
The only one that's awkward is Sirius XM, but yeah, all of
uh,
them are on there.
okay, yeah. So basically, you know, whatever kind of stuff you listen to, I mean, whatever service you use, you can use it, which is great. So I want just your thoughts. Like, what do you think about? I mean, 5.0 is very basic, but 6.0 on Carrier.
The 5.0 is the network. 6.0, that's interesting. It's about, a lot of carriers have been trying to get into music downloads for a long time, but this seems like to be the best way to do it is to offer free streaming and not counting against your data plan is going to be a very appealing thing and something that if it takes off, which a lot of T-Mobile things have taken off before, we're going to see this happening on plenty of other carriers, which I think is a very good thing. More and more, more of these things are happening out here, and I'm already looking. I just looked at some of the votes here, and Google Access is like number 2 in terms of votes. And then number 1 is Groove Shark with TuneIn and Xbox Music kind of following up right around there. So that's already telling like people are very interested in this, and they're already using these services. And they want these services to come out here and be able to be free. So I think releasing music and allowing music to be streamed for free is a good idea. I think it's something that like I said, if simply enough, if it gets popular on T-Mobile and a lot of users like it, you will see the other carriers do it. They might be specific out of it. This is probably going to be something. If this jumps off well, I think Google will get behind on a lot of. Will try to push carriers to push their services or push somewhere within there. Might jump into there to try and get more people playing their stuff as well too. I can see that as a way for them to access there to reach out their install base a little bit more as well too. So I can see them jumping in on that. The Groove Shark one is the most surprising one out of all of these that's upvoted on. I'm just looking at it.
I've never heard of Group Shark to now.
Groove Shark is I remember it was I used it a couple of times on the desktop. It's sort of like a similar music streaming service where you can find and search for things, and I can't remember fully what it is, but it's a surprise that it's that high, and Xbox Music is up there too, which is also pretty surprising. It's up there that high.
I think Xbox Music probably just because you have a lot of 520s and 925s on T-Mobile. That's where those phones sold well. And then Group Shark, maybe just because I don't know if it's a younger generation thing, and T-Mobile consumers just have this very specific, like when they start picking up stuff that they use. So I have no idea. But how about you, Alex? What do you think?
Groove Shark's completely free. That's why it's free music streaming. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Free always helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. In my case scenario, like I use SoundCloud habitually. Like that's the main music app that I use, and when I give my data statements, I'm like 2 weeks short on my data. I run out every month because of SoundCloud, and I'm at home. I use my Wi-Fi, but yeah, the way it works. So this is like a brilliant move by T-Mobile. And again, there's no doubt that AT&T and Verizon are going to have to adopt this. You're giving free. I mean, you know how many people use Pandora in college? Like it's just crazy to imagine that people won't find out and switch to T-Mobile.
Pandora is like work, play everywhere. Big Pandora everywhere, and just like they got to. Pandora's probably already on it. Like
Pandora is already. It was one of the ones that already cleared off. It was Pandora, Spotify. Samsung went in with partnership with Milk. They actually put that one there, and I think there's one other.
Worst name ever.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess I agree. It's a good thing altogether. Moving on to actually.
Can I make a mini rant on Milk Music just in case Samsung is listening? What the hell would you name your service Milk? What is that? What is a Milk? Like seriously, like
It's the
just don't.
nectar of life.
No,
That's the first thing you ever tasted.
I mean, Jesus, like Samsung has its brand, and you think out of any name they would have called this damn thing Galaxy Music, and they go completely off on the right. You know what? I don't blame them. Slacker named this, not them. Heck, I must have named this. Not
Wow. You're gonna blame Slacker. All right, all right.
this.
Well, switching gears a little bit to another Seattle company. Yesterday, the Surface Pro 3 launched, and Microsoft posted the online manual, and we saw that yes, the rumors were true. Surface Mini is canceled and sitting in warehouses with how many thousand units, only God knows. But it popped up on there, and you could see that you could link your stylus to the Surface Mini, all that fun stuff. So I want to get your thoughts. What do you think Microsoft will do with the Surface Mini? Because the word and rumors that came out that day was that Elop and Satya were not happy with what it was, what it was going to showcase. So they wanted something that would really energize people. Like the Surface 3 has really energized a lot of people. The Surface Mini just looked like it was just a smaller version. So they were like, no, we want something that was practical to do. So what do you think Microsoft's going to do, and how do you think that plays into the fact that they probably have maybe 200,000 units just sitting down in the warehouse altogether?
It's still coming. It's still coming. It's just that it's going to come a little bit later. It's going to come during the Christmas holiday season. It can sell for $200.
Do you think that's going to come with the launch of Office, Metro Office? Because I mean, all reports are that that's ready. Just Android is actually going up first this summer.
It might. It might. It might just happen with that. It might be the device that it kind of launches with, and with the software service that it launches with to make it a little more exciting. That might happen. It's just weird because most of Microsoft stuff launches in January, and more so than it does in October or stuff like that.
Well, but they're changing. They're trying to change that routine. No, October though is when Office launches though.
Office launches, but then they also have Windows 9 or whatever next version or revision of Windows happen. Although I don't know if it's going to be called 9 or whatever it's going to be, maybe 8.2, whatever they're going to be doing is going to be coming around the same time.
Word is 8.2 is October this year. Then 9 is we'll see 9 at CES, but I think it's build next year around.
Yeah, build. I'd be surprised with them just finally getting traction around the Windows 8 naming if they do make that jump to trying to change it to Windows 9 right now. But
we'll see a first version.
We'll see a first version, whatever major revision it'll be. But it'll probably coincide with it. It'll probably be packaged and bundled to be able to sell. I think it's there. I think it's done. I think the most part, the hardware is what it is. If they built these units already, is probably just what they want to package with it, what they want to add with it, what software and services they want to bring with it, because they're not going to pitch this thing as a replacement computer. That the Surface Pro 3 is a computer. That's what it is. What they pitch in a tablet body. So that's easier to kind of pitch around. They also have an expectation of what they're going to sell amongst those, even if it's not very high of what that's going to be. The Surface Mini, or this mini tablet that they're going to come out with, that's a tablet. They're going to be pushing that, and they expect to sell a lot of those coming out. They want what happened with the Dell Venue to happen with this. So I understand probably you don't want to have that come out at the same time as a device that does way better, way more than what the little device does. So it kind of makes sense that they're going to come out probably. I'm seriously think it's probably end of this year with Office against maybe a refreshed iPad Mini probably around that time, and in a position to sell better probably at a $200 price range than I think now, where they probably would have the price a little bit higher. They wouldn't have had all software ready, and there'd have been nothing unique to it, and it would have just gotten buried. We all would have went to that press conference and completely buried it under the Surface Pro 3. We would just been like more focused on that than would have been focused on this Mini.
Okay. How about you, Alex?
Well, I agree with Warren in terms of they want to sell a ton of these things, and launching it later on in the year makes much better sense to do so. I'm hoping personally that they just scrap the idea and make a Surface phone. Just take that tablet, downsize it, make a Surface phone with Windows 8.1 on it, and you're good to go. Like that's all I want really, because hopefully by that time, everything like their services will be pretty much seamless. I mean, you guys get that experience with the Surface Pro 3 and everything
Well,
like that.
on the services, I see. I don't think that will happen at all because on the software merging together, the final merge is with Windows 9.
9.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so
9.
you don't want to necessarily do that anyway too, and you already have Nokia putting a lot of traction. You doing like a Surface phone just really fucks everything that you've worked hard to do by even buying the company. Really fucks that over completely. Because you already
You don't
have.
get the Nokia name, because I'm hearing that they're not going to use Nokia
No,
anymore.
but you're gonna use the Lumia brand. The brand is you already have a successful brand, so you don't even want to fuck that up. I mean, like it's just you. It's like you throwing water on the fire that you're building. Like the flames are getting up. You're like, ah.
If they hadn't have bought Nokia, that was one of the things that I was chirping for a member Thundery a long time about, that they need to come up with their own reference phone, similar to what Google has done with the Nexus branding of things. But I think, and now that they're pretty much going to be going into these all, Play Edition now more so than their own thing. I think it's them buying Nokia, having a device and phone manufacturer just doing that. I think they're okay now.
They're that. The thing I wanted to mention though is I think they might scrap it. I think they might scrap the mini units they have there for one reason, because when we're at PepCom, we saw the Intel reference tablets running Broadwell, fanless, and x86, and that's the chipset that Intel has been pushing for exactly at what price point, like you mentioned, Warren, $200.
Well, no, what I'm saying is they could still, when I'm about hardware,
or maybe swap the chips out.
I think the chipsets and everything are going to be swapped out. If they had made 200,000 or however so many that have been made by now, but there's obviously there was something there that they wanted to wait for, and I really think it was one, not getting buried under the Surface Pro 3's announcement, because we're tech journalists, we all would have did that. Ooh, bigger, shinier, we just all went over there. And two, the Office in 3, I really think it's that $200 price point. They can get it at that $200 price point where it's an easy buy for people. They're gonna sell like hotcakes, especially if it's x86, runs a full version of Windows. They can pair a keyboard with it if they want to, and they'll have all these features.
Well, hopefully this tablet kills off the RT versions of Windows completely.
I agree.
I think RT's already dead.
I think I agree with you, but I think that tablet is that statement that we've moved forward. You know what? Enjoy your RT in your school, and that's something funny that's mentioned. So somebody posted on one of my Surface videos, Sam's 1 month Surface video, and he said, why would this replace my tablet when I don't have applications? It doesn't have apps. And somebody replied, they said, you have full Windows. Tell me why you really need apps that much. But other than the fact that you may want the Hulu app and the Netflix for viewing, why do you really need apps that much? I mean, that's the honest truth. To me, I look at it because
there's very few Metro style apps that I really care to honestly use, and it's very few, and it's because and even in the Metro interface, it's very nice, it's very cool, but it's so basic in what you can do with it. I think that's going to change once Office Metro comes around and a lot more comes out of that, and you can see a lot more functionality in using it in there. And then being able to multitask in apps and stuff like that. I think if that works that way, we'll start to see a little bit more, few more Metro apps get a little bit, Metro apps get a little bit better, get a little more functionality. Because right now they're good, they're cool, they're beautiful looking. I mean, if you ask anyone out there, what's the best looking, apps? It's probably like Windows Phone dominates over everyone in terms of apps, like and how they look and how they function. There's just not a lot there to do, especially
even the Windows Store on like Windows 8 is horrible. I mean, I barely use apps from there. I probably use a YouTube app that's third party, and the USA
Today. I use the Hyper. Yeah. No. The news apps, the things like the apps that work best on
their own.
The news app. No, even the third party like USA Today and things like that. The news ones.
That should be like the template.
The video apps. Like to me, Hulu is perfect on that thing. Hulu, Netflix, those
Netflix
things.
is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, those work well. But like once you get out of that kind of viewing, anything else just becomes like a whole hush mess. So I agree. I agree with you. Once Office comes out, people are gonna go, oh shit, you can. Because Office is one of those applications that's simple and very complex, right? We all know how Microsoft went to lengths making the iPad version so usable that you can't make.
And the key thing is all the apps in that thing. The one that needs to work the best is Excel inside of that.
Yeah,
UI.
I mean they've proved it with Excel on iPad, so.
Yeah, so they're there. They have it.
Yeah.
But
So it's true. I agree. So we agree it's $200 price point. We agree it's probably Christmas time that this thing's gonna come out. And
I think it hits October.
Yeah,
and then it'll hit October, and then just enough time so that
bundle with your Xbox One.
Yeah. No, but just enough time.
$500. Yeah. Get a PC and an Xbox, right?
Pretty much. Xbox is a PC.
That would be awesome.
That's the button, right? Hey, Microsoft, you heard it right. Send 3 down here first, then we'll review it for you. Okay? Just saying.
But my whole thing is, it releases in October, and then just enough time in November so the carriers will get their LTE versions out, kind of around when they like to release stuff, which is in November. Right, so you have the LTE models, and you have the regular models, and everything is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And it's true though, because I do agree with you with that separation where you go from, because if it's tied with the Surface Pro 3, really, like you said, agree. Buried, we will all go, this is shiny, this is bigger, and also on the functionality aspect, you're going, okay, fine, this is just pure. Surface Pro 3 is a pure performance. Now, this actually helps Microsoft create 2 categories: the pure performance Surface Pro 3, and then the portable work tablet. You know what I mean? Like
especially if that thing can do some basic video editing and edit a couple HD videos out of the thing.
These Intel processors are going to be nuts.
So. Yeah, if it's a Broadwell processor, from what I know from what Intel was saying, they're like it's the same as your Haswell, and he was basically saying this it's like you're not going to get more power than the Haswell, but you're going to get more efficiency than the Haswell, but fanless. I was like, oh snap, okay. That really puts ARM in a hot seat altogether.
No, ARM is always going to be in phones more so. They're going to be in anything else, because that's one thing I'm determined. I'm still on the fence. Like Intel will never ever in a billion years ever get
the penetration.
Phones.
Phones, no. But if Intel gets that tablet penetration. That's what's key.
I think they can do, but see, the reason I think they can do that is because computing is a little bit more related to tablets versus smartphones. So completely different things. So I think they can, I think they can make it on there. Maybe a couple of other phones, like maybe a ASUS Pad phone running Intel might have been something. Maybe gimmicky, but like it's that mindset that I'm getting, better computing inside of it, But
you know what, ASUS Pad phone, a Windows Phone ASUS Pad phone, right? That goes from Windows Phone to just a Windows tablet. That's a better proposition for them, I think.
Yeah, it really is.
ASUS, you hear that again? Send 3.
Please understand that Google is not committed to making Android work on tablets. So I mean, they clearly are not. They tried with Honeycomb, and then they just went and just went completely the other way.
You can see why Samsung puts in so much work into the tablets, adding all this extra software that you kind of get angry. But you can't blame Samsung to a certain degree, because they're not getting anything they need out of it. You know what I mean? So it goes along.
Fire is another great example of that too. Like they have to put so much.
So much. Yeah, exactly. We have a couple of comments here in the Q&A. Lou Rod says, "Do you think?" Oh, we forgot about this. This was in 5.0. Do you think Test Drive will be a hit for T-Mobile? Remember the T-Mobile Test Drive where they allow you? They're starting with the iPhone because Apple's providing iPhones.
They got over 12,000 signups in 36 hours.
That's not bad. To test drive a phone before you buy it.
To try before you buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can return it. No charge to you. I mean, your card is held in case of damages. So if you damage the phone, then you might as well just keep it. but the whole idea is you can try it out for a week, and if you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, then
that looks to be an
I
evolved
might have to do that for my iPhone being
uh,
bricked.
an evolved way of doing the 14 and 30-day return policies, and so instead of dealing with the whole return policy factor, you just test drive your phone and just go.
Yeah.
And you probably just have some random number on it or whatever the case may be. They have accounts set that way. There seems to be a way to save money on the administrative side of that.
No, it's a good idea for consumers too, because and the reason why Apple is picking this up, because they want that to do that for the iPhone 6, because they know they need to do as much to push people out there to say go back to the iPhone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because when I heard
Although I
Apple was
don't see
providing it.
anything iTunes music related in terms of free streaming on here at all
Exactly.
whatsoever.
No, 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 no. Yeah, and you would think Apple at least say Beats, right? Beats music, like trying to
No,
just.
Beats music's on here, but I'm pretty sure that was
Okay, it's just on there.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
but
sure that was done long before that
or,
Beats even happening.
that's true. That's Dre and
Yeah,
Ivy already
and
do.
trust me, and that's very low on the totem pole anyway of votes.
But
So
yeah, that's true. And Matt Copeland says, I'm finally going to break down and get an Xbox One so I can get Halo goodness. Dude, man, you should have gone a long time ago. Join us, play. Stop complaining there, Matt. Come on, seriously. Anyway, let's move on to a couple other things. Google / Nest. Actually, Nest is buying Dropcam for $555 million. Sorry.
trying to remember. Hold on.
A lot of money, man.
I'm trying to.
$500 million.
Oh, okay. I was like, Dropcam. I know it.
Yeah, the ones that make the automated door camera.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel bad because I know I've done stuff with them before in the past, and it's like Dropcam. That's an interesting buy.
Well, it's part of that home connectivity stuff, right? Google doesn't have a front camera, like how AT&T and Verizon have they have all those cameras and everything for the door and the house and all that. So just Google just getting a company so they don't have to build it out themselves. And it's funny though, because with all these things, right? If you really think about it, I'm starting to look at all these purchases that companies are making and going, what is their calculation for how much it will cost them to build it out and how much it costs to buy? It may cost slightly less, but I think for them, they're looking at if it's going to cost us $300 million to make this, it might be worth it to just spend the $500 to buy the company because they already made the stuff anyway, and they do have some market in the first place.
True. Yeah, I mean it's a case of just buying something that's already been done, so now you can roll it out and make money off of it faster than having to produce it yourself.
Yeah, true. All right, so yeah, Google's trying to just take over our lives and stuff. It's all cool. The other one I wanted to mention, which I find surprising, but I guess it sold pretty well enough. Nokia X2. They're teasing the announcement for next week. I mean, considering they said China sales were close to about 2 million, almost like right after launch. So you think I guess it's wise for Microsoft to make another one because it's a cash cow, right?
No, dude, that's like the candy bar phone, right?
No. Remember the Nokia X phone, the Android phone?
With the phone looking UI.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, because they have an X2. That's why you were saying something.
Yeah. Sorry, people just calling the X2. I apologize. Sorry. I should have made it like small X and capital 2 or something. I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah. The X2 is an old candy bar phone. You are definitely right. Definitely right about that. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about them making the device?
Well, to be honest, it's like I try to give Nokia and Microsoft the benefit of the doubt when I do stuff. I have no idea where they're going with this other than selling units. I mean, there's really no other reason to do this other than selling units.
They'll make another one, and it'll be running a free version of Windows Phone.
You know what? That might be the bait and switch you see there. It's true, but I think it's a cash cow because the first one really made some sales. Like the sales numbers China was putting out there, and I mean just alone at 2 million using old ass hardware.
Yeah, they made pure profit on that thing.
Now think about this for a second. When we all sat here and said, there was
It's
always
not gonna
debate. No. There was always this debate though about Nokia using Android and what they possibly could have done. And seeing what they're doing on a phone, they just went like this too. and in the entire country about to put it on their flag, apparently, in terms of how much they purchased it, could really have been interesting to see what they would have done if they had gone into it on a larger scale. It really is interesting to see that, because they basically.
China has over 1 billion people. 2 million is nothing in their market.
True,
Yeah,
but still a lot.
There's still a lot to sell for something that they don't put any marketing behind at all.
Yeah,
and it's something that is kind of threw out there.
No, I mean, it's very true. I think like, Nokia going into Android would have been a killer. But I think like I said, it's just going back to that whole argument. The problem they face is that they needed money to run their company because they were losing cash, and Google was not going to provide them cash. If Google provided them cash, that was it. It'd be over.
I think that's one of Google's regrets right now.
Yeah,
I think they're thinking about
Google
that.
had provided them cash or even spent some money saying, helping a partner or something like that, like doing like a joint partnership venture just to help them out and then ease back out of it. That would have, like you said, that would be one of those things where Google would be like, we have because no matter what Samsung puts out, Nokia will put out what you call the pure version of it on the Android space, right? Samsung may still be that company because they have a lot of cash, momentum, but then Nokia comes out with something. All of us are like, whoa, this is the shit Android phone you're waiting for. That would take away from that HTC argument that all HTC fanboys keep talking about, and I'm tired of hearing how crappy their thing is, but sorry, Alex.
Well,
yeah, I'm glad you're paying attention to that. It's okay.
No, there's no question that it wouldn't have sold. It's the fact that like Nokia wouldn't be able to produce the phones. They had no cash. It's all.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It would have. The thing is, it's not like Microsoft can't do that. It'd be an interesting play for them to make double the money off Android. But, it's not something I see them doing, obviously. But that would be something, wouldn't it? The fact that they would put out their own phones for free, then use another free operating system that they're actually making money off of to sell, and then make more money off of it again.
Something like Apple. Like, Apple seems like they would do something real sinister like that.
No, Microsoft doesn't. It's never that. Like, I mean, it's like going back to the argument of, like, who to sue for patents and stuff like that. I mean, Apple went on and just outright sued people. Microsoft called you up first and said, hey, you know what? Here's our patents. You're infringing. Just pay, and let's keep things cool.
They don't want to stifle innovation. You gotta remember, Microsoft doesn't want to stifle innovation.
Yeah, and people just said, okay, fine, we'll pay.
Apple has nothing in terms of wanting to be innovators. Is there any actual Apple innovation centers anywhere, like, where they promote these type of things?
No. It's all in-house that they do it, and
you gotta remember,
keep things
like Microsoft, their biggest thing is really on innovation. They have so many things, like the Nerd Center and and so many programs that all like push innovation, push new things to come out. So I'm not really surprised that they're like, just pay us money, and probably give them a discount, because they probably get a lot more than what they could have.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't. No, some of the agreements were reasonable. It was basically Microsoft was like, give me $2 to $3 per device or whatever. It wasn't something high. Again, it changed. It differed per company. You could tell it depends on company sales.
Yeah.
What they were selling. So if somebody was high, like Samsung had a higher deal than ASUS. ASUS was much smaller. It wasn't negligible.
But like I said, I would not. It'd be something. Maybe Nadal does some mastermind thing like that. It's like, hey, let's double up. Why the hell not? I'm just on the phone. Why the hell not? If people want this and want that, and we're still be able to push our Microsoft services on it, because that's what at the end of the day what we're talking about here, and we're gonna make money either way.
Just do it.
Let's do it.
Charlie's Akana says, I bought Nokia X in Thailand to use overseas. I rooted it, put Google on it. Should have got the Moto E on the side. On the plus side, using the Nokia X made me use 521 and put Windows 8.1. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah. Putting Windows 8.1 on that Lumia 521 is like, it's like you just give the phone like an injection of just like adrenaline.
It's a brand new phone.
Yeah. So I mean, but I definitely agree with you though. Like an X2. Souped up, a little bit more specs on there, but still cheap, and you're making money off it.
Because
I'm telling you, if
it's expensive for what it's worth. It's like $100+.
Yeah,
But it's so I know.
it's sold.
Yeah,
And
that's
let's
crazy.
say they make another one of those, and they put it out again, and those investors seeing that money coming in,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we get like a bigger one meant for the U.S. around here if they're going to be making that money. If you're making that money, and that's all that these investors are going to be looking at and caring about. Hey, you're making that dollar.
Yeah, that's
Holla,
very
you
true.
know,
Very true.
holla, make that dollar, and especially the best part of that is that they'll be using a use a competitor that they're making money off of, and they completely kill off any of their type of services, especially Google Drive, which they'll completely snipe that way too.
No, it's OneDrive. OneDrive is like
Yeah,
you have to
no,
root.
OneDrive is completely superior in
Yeah, you have
almost
to
every
root. No, but
aspect.
I mean, to even put anything Google services, you have to root the phone to put it.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
if
it's a hard process. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong.
it's not an easy
no,
process.
I'm pretty sure not at all.
Yeah, it's hard.
So
Yeah.
so
It took me like 5 hours.
So you could no, well,
Jesus.
you couldn't download like the Gmail app or anything like that to use on it. You want to use email,
No,
like Gmail?
no, because no, it's like a 3-step verification process. So like you turn it on, you got to install the app, but there's like a package specific to it, and then you have to do this like circumventing to get to the actual. Nokia X prevents you from connecting to Google services, so it's like it's so annoying.
But what I'm saying is like, where do you get? Is it like a Nokia X App Store or something?
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it's like a Nokia store. It's a Nokia store, and like
Okay.
when you install the Google Play Store, it just pretty much reinverts all your downloads to the Play Store. But all I did was download Nova Launcher, install that because it's a pretty bad experience without Nova Launcher.
Yeah, Nova Launcher makes it much better. So, but I think the problem with it is not the OS or the software, is the processor cannot handle
Handle it, yeah.
handle it at all.
But this segues into something else too, because they have to be interested in this, considering that they came up with a launcher on Android.
Yeah, the Nokia Z launcher. Yeah.
Well, no, that was the team that Microsoft didn't buy. So I mean,
That was?
yeah,
Really?
they're not with Microsoft. That's a team that Nokia that they didn't buy.
Oh, so this is Nokia itself.
Yeah, it's Nokia. Yeah.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay. That's interesting. I know you've tried it out, Andrew. What do you think about the Z launcher?
You mean Lex?
I said Andrew. Yeah, that's right, Lex.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm like half my eyes on the World Cup game here. The other half is.
It's okay. No, it's in beta, so I mean you see where the beta stuff is kind of going, but it's a nice simplistic and minimalistic like launcher. Like the fact that you can draw the letters on the home screen, you don't have to go anywhere separately to find your app is cool, and plus they push your most frequent apps to the front, horizontally and vertically, so you really might not even have to use that feature. So it's cool, but I mean it's nothing that would replace my Google Home launcher with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. One more topic. So Galaxy S5 LTE was announced in Korea. What that means, it's got a quad-core processor, and the first, finally, after they told us it was going to come out with all the latest phones, Snapdragon 805 chipset is in that phone. 3 gigs of RAM in Korea. Samsung says that phone is not coming out here in the US because we still think the Galaxy F is still coming out as their premium phone. What do you think about the LTE? Any thoughts, or it's just basically Korea update?
Korean update.
Here an update because I already have one of them here.
Wait, what is that?
This is
G3.
the G3, and it's actually an
okay.
LTA version. I mean, it's just and it doesn't have the Snapdragon 805, of course, but it's a version meant for that particular market. I guess it is what it is. I'm not even so sure on when we're ever going to see these Prime things when it's getting so close to IFA and stuff now in the holiday season. Will we ever? I don't know. I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing these phones this year. Maybe next year. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah.
It's getting very like a little late right
we're
now.
gonna see the Note 4 at IFA. I mean, that's what it is gonna be, and maybe they might just put all the Prime aspects into the Note 4, and then release a true Prime next year. Like
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. To be honest with you, we're going to be seeing a better version. The Note 4 is going to have all those Prime specs inside of it. It's going to be premier phone. They're going to push HTC's Prime device is just like a better version of the One Max to compete, and then the LG will come out with another G Flex to compete in that same phablet market as well too, and all competing against obviously iPhone's bigger screen and such coming into the fall, into the holiday season. But these Prime devices, they were cool to hear about
4 months ago.
4 months ago when this possibly could happen before we heard about the other two devices coming out. If they came out at the same time together, maybe so, but that would have been very dangerous in cannibalizing themselves.
Actually, if Prime wanted to come out, it should be now, like at least in June or end of June, if they were going to release a Prime.
My issue is that they cannibalized the original S5 sales only 2 months since it's been released. You know, it's the same thing with HTC. You'd have been killing your own sales already of your current device in favor of a premium aspect phone. That either you kill that or that phone doesn't sell because the price difference is not enough for people to want to scoop up and get the better device out of them. So it's because it's really a market like people were at one point coming out with bigger, smaller devices essentially. Even Samsung did it, although they never launched them at the same time. They did have their mini versions, and HTC did their mini versions, and then when Apple tried to do that and flopped and almost cannibalized themselves by doing it in the 5S and 5C sales, you saw companies start to realize we can only really put out one phone per half year. It seems we got to put out one main phone, then we have another space to put out another phone that's got to be different than from the other phone, where it fits into its own category or a different category. If we expect users to have the attention and wanting to see it to wanting to buy it. Yeah. There's really no more. The only that can't even. I think that can't even sell anymore. Back then, when there was the Droid Razr line, when it could do all those three, that was like the last line that could do that. That they could say we have this, this, and this, and put those out there, but they were tied to one carrier. But even now, I don't think that's going to happen again. I think it's really all about putting out your main device, your maybe big screen device, and maybe a mini device somewhere down the road. So obviously a lot less fanfare.
No, I definitely agree, and it's just one of those things that we'll see how they turn out. But I think Samsung is very clear about not oversaturating the US market, at least. Yeah. I'd say.
Let me add one thing to that. They could put out a rugged version. That'd be the only other version that can do like what Samsung does with the S5 Active. There's rugged versions of the One M8 and there's rugged versions of the G3 and such like that. Then that makes sense. I would be in support of those because those usually come with a little bit different specs, if a little bit different market. Different people will kind of look for those type of phones, and those phones will sell because it's not that much different from the original one. Now you're just choosing rugged versus non-rugged in a very small price range between that.
If not all at all, it's just
if not all, it might probably be the same. This is I
think next year is when we'll see Primes really hit the market as a different tier device altogether.
I even think because the other thing is the processors really aren't there for that yet. What you want to do, like the 805 is just now coming around, and next year we're supposed to be seeing the 810s and the ones that really have that true computing power. We can throw some really crazy specs and crazy cameras and get a lot of crazy great goodness out of those phones. And I think next year we're going to start seeing. I think the tagline Pro is going to be a little bit more used, where you're going to get a Pro version of phones, and then I don't even know if they even have it. They might be able to release a lesser version of a phone, but I even doubt that in of itself too. I think we're just going to see whatever these Prime versions are just next year's devices, and we're just changing our product line somewhat in a ways. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a new line that we're having here. We're starting it off here. It kind of using marketing tricks to trick you into thinking that there's a new line of products coming out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I'll be honest, because until the G3, I'm like, there's no point in putting 4K displays on phones. I didn't know the battery extent. I don't know how that whole process went down. But
how's your battery on your G3?
Well, it's amazing to him.
It's amazing.
So yeah, so
remember the argument we had, Alex? I said if it
that's
doesn't
why I
kill
bring
the
it up.
battery.
That's why I bring it up now. Yep. So you guys are right about that. I thought, because honestly, I'm like, listen, 4K, you're pushing mad pixels, man. You're putting the same amount I guess
Well,
one
it's
lamps, the
2K,
same
2K
phone.
display, 2K
It's
display.
2K display.
Not 2K.
Let's
I'm
not let
sorry.
people kill you out there for saying it's 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's four
But
times 720. My apologies. But overall, it's just like, huh? Yeah, but I didn't know how it would work out, and it seemingly it's just as fine, if not better than the G2, and that's on a Snapdragon 800 processor or 801 processor. So,
You know what? Yeah.
imagine, yeah, how much. It's probably going to be a lot better with the 805s. So
yeah,
it's that's good to see, and
and then
obviously
the
there's no
Android.
reason but
Yeah.
yeah,
We have a couple
obviously
of
it makes sense to upgrade if there's no.
we have a couple of comments here in the Q&A. Elsewalt Cinema says, "Let's watch Google just buy Capcom because Capcom is going
Oh,
through
we should talk about that. We should really
Co-
actually talk about that. The whole Capcom to up for sale, essentially allowing anyone to walk in and buy majority shares is what they
Yeah.
did.
I
Microsoft is one suitor. It is a good idea, but I don't know if they'll do it. Really, if things go the way it should go, and if things go where I think it would be Nintendo that would buy them out of anyone else, because they would
yeah.
be the only ones that would really treat the properties right and in the position to do it and
If
and have the history with them, because a lot of people don't realize that all the Game Boy Zelda games were developed by Capcom.
I know that's true, but
They have history
right
there.
now is Nintendo. How much are their shares and how much is the cash they're looking for? Is Nintendo have the amount of money to deal with all that?
I'm pretty sure they still got a Scrooge McDuck bank full of Wii dollars.
Yeah, they
got one
they
around
lost a lot of
somewhere.
money, so we'll see.
And they got plenty of money to make clay animation, digital direct videos. So
No, but if I were Nintendo, you're right. If I were Nintendo, I would make that investment on Capcom because that means I'm now tied into Xbox and PlayStation.
yep, that's the key thing I was actually mentioning, is the fact that Nintendo can now sell Nintendo games essentially through the Capcom brand on the other two, so they'll make money off the other two, or they make money yourself, similar to what I was saying with Microsoft and Android.
Right, yeah, I mean that's the only other way.
They can sit there and ball out doing that, and imagine the next Smash Brothers now with the amount of Capcom characters they could pull into it.
It's it, yeah.
And the fact that it's like it makes sense because a lot of the games that are within there, that property that they have, they can make exclusives to themselves, and then there's ones that they can deliver out to everyone else. There's a large enough library they can split out, and they have history behind those libraries because a lot of those libraries were made famous on their hardware. So there's to me, and they have the experience to take something like that and use it properly. Microsoft could do the same thing in a way, but I don't know if they're really in a position or really want to do something like that, because they focus very much on their game studio, which is a pretty big studio, and they already have a lot of titles, and they're really trying to focus on pushing original IPs. Believe it or not, they really are trying to get original ideas.
Oh yeah,
more so than a lot of other companies are really trying to do right now. Sony would just be a bad idea because they would just try to exclusify every damn thing, and everything will turn into looking like Final Fantasy, and it'd turn into one of those stupid Square Enix deals, and it'd just be horrible for everybody in the industry. Trust me, that's the last company you want to buy. The only other company that I could say outside Nintendo that I would want would be 2K. That'd be the only other place that could go. Take-Two Interactive technically could be another place that would do that. But if it's not a majority shareholder, they're going to have to sell off pieces, and I mean that's just what'll end up going, like THQ.
We have a couple of other ones here. LTE, is that Universal LTE?
LTE, what is LTE Advanced? So, the LG has explained it to me 1,000 times at events, and I still can't remember.
I mean, it's an advanced version of LTE.
It's like the next version.
It gives you up to 300 megabits per second, right?
Yeah, something like that. 300 megabits. It supports 300 megabits per second. Voice over LTE, voice over data supports. It supports TV, like the DVTV that's inside of this one. It's supposed to support a little bit better. There's a better explanation of LTE than I'm giving right here right now.
But let's call it what it is. It's advanced LTE, and it should give you better speeds in Korea, not here, than you have right now.
T-Mobile is going to get it eventually. They're the ones. They're one of the ones doing it. This phone, actually, the Korean version of this phone does support AT&T and T-Mobile. They will find those networks. I have an AT&T SIM in here right now, actually.
Okay. And then we have two more comments here on Amazon Prime and Fire Phone. So Matt Copeland says, speaking of Prime, Amazon Prime Music freaking blows. I haven't tried it out yet, so
I have no desire to try that out.
so it'll probably
And
be
I
the
have
same.
Prime. Zero passion to try that out.
Then Amazon Fire Phone is okay. This is Derek 11, but I'm not overly impressed. To me, it's a mini Kindle Fire with few extra features. A mobile device to keep you shopping on Amazon, of course, but that's about all it is. And that is, yeah, that's what
There
it
was,
is. It's,
there was
it's
another,
can they convince people to buy it for that? That's the
there was
thing.
another comment in there that we saw that somebody said that the phone was getting glowing reviews, but something else. There was one other
Um,
comment.
I didn't see that, but
Maybe it's on
anyway.
that YouTube channel.
Yeah, maybe it's on the page. I'll check to see, but no, I didn't see that. But I mean, yeah, we've covered a bunch of topics and a few things here. I guess we should round up at this point. You know,
I
but
think we missed a topic.
did we? No, I think we covered everything.
I
Is
think we
anything we
did.
missed?
No, I guess we
Anything?
did. No, I guess we did cover it.
Anything, Alex?
No, we're pretty much good to go. Just I'm enjoying FIFA World Cup, man. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
Right now, Iran and Argentina 0-0. You know what that means? That means good chances for our useless guys who played horrible the first game in Iran. Or it also means that Iran actually has a pretty good defense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seems to be that way.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are out right now.
Yeah.
A lot of teams not expected to get got smacked up,
Well,
and they're out of there.
Costa Rica is a very good team. Those guys came to play. They
Yeah.
really came to play.
Well, that's the
No
whole
joke.
thing, man. It's about not what you did in the past. It's like it's go time, World Cup, let's go.
No,
It happened
true,
now.
true, but I mean, I'm saying the level of talent that they brought to this World Cup is completely. I mean, like even their qualifiers didn't even play like this. Like I'm like, man, you all have really stepped up to. They've really gone that okay, fine, we are here.
Yeah.
Because usually countries like that, they go to the World Cup and they're like, okay, hey, let's move up.
Well,
They just went like this.
But you notice that's a lot of countries right now that you don't expect are taking that next step higher than what they've been, what they traditionally have been. It's like they've come. I think it's the mindset they're not happy to just be in the World Cup. They're like, no, we want to come here and we want to win. We don't care who's in front of us. We want to win, and we're going to win with who we have. And that's the
But
best
another thing to look at is the stat that, well, then again, it's in South America. Every South American team has a chance of qualifying. Right now, every South American team in the World Cup. Who's
But
qualified?
Honduras probably won't, because I think they're in the worst position right now, right?
Yeah, they're in the worst position. Chile qualified, and who else?
Brazil's going to qualify. I think Argentina.
Uruguay can qualify too. Yeah, Uruguay's in a better position because they beat England.
Yeah.
And so they're in a better position to qualify. But it's one of those things where, the World Cup is it's been entertaining. I mean, all the games have been. Some games first half kind of slow, and then except that Nigeria-Iran match. I apologize again. I'm gonna apologize to everybody who watched that match. I'm serious.
Useless, man.
That was disgraceful and useless.
And the U.S. more than made up for it in the next game afterwards. So
U.S. and Ghana was a very exciting match, but that game really just put me to sleep, and it wanted me to shoot myself at some point because I was
the problem with that game is that's the type of game that American fans think soccer always is.
It's not,
you
will have those games. You will always have those games. When
those games happen. But see, here's the thing: that game's going 0-0 and it's boring. Another thing that
Brazil, Mexico. Remember
Brazil, Mexico. One of my friends posted on his Facebook, and he said, Americans think soccer is low scoring and such, and he's talking about the 5-2 Switzerland game, but he's like, the Red Sox 2 days ago won in 10 innings at the final score of 2-1, and I said, well, wait a minute here, you have to compare. I made a great comparison and say, all right, if you're usually on a low score in baseball, that usually means it's excellent pitching going on, and there's a pitcher's duel that's happening, which can be very exciting as well too, and the equivalent of that is what happened between Brazil and Mexico, where you had an amazing goalie play. Both goalies played well, but we just saw the Mexican goalie literally
the Brazilian
all
goalie had
across the tie everywhere.
Brazilian goalie had some good saves, but the Mexican goalie he was peppered with like 6-7 shots. He had 6 good saves that day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just saves as in because he put his hand there. Those were legitimate balls going in.
Yeah.
They were going in. Yeah, you can see the Brazilians were like this. They're off their seat and they're like, ah.
That guy was just amazing. I mean, but that's the comparison when somebody, comparing baseball to soccer in terms of when there's a low score or it doesn't seem like a lot's going on. There is a lot going on a lot of times. Those games can be exciting, but then you'll always run into those boring games. Like I said with Iran and Nigeria. Although my roommate's an Iranian, so he was excited.
I mean, yeah, Iran is it's not expected to win anything. So the fact that they came out with a draw, and then it looks like now they're playing a draw against Argentina, and Argentina is pressuring. Now this is the same turnout with the Nigerian match, but you can see Argentina is putting up as much pressure as possible, and they can't score.
Yeah,
so
and Argentina they're leading this group, but they're in a very good position because they're the only ones going to win.
Yeah. But I mean,
they can tie out the whole way and end up probably on top of the group.
They can tie the whole way, but like I said, for Nigeria, for us, it's like this is good because if we manage to beat Bosnia, even if it's just one goal, that puts us where it's going to be tough. I know. I'm just saying that if we manage, that's why I say manage. You hear the word? I said manage because you can score one goal and just drop everyone in defense and be like, just kick it out and then roll on the ground for like 10 hours.
Oh, there's been a lot of that this year. Guys rolling on the ground.
All right, I remember this one dude had like 5 rolls. It was crazy.
Yeah. I know, right?
Like, come on, man.
There's so much rolling, and what else have people been doing? Like, people have been legitimately trying to waste time.
There's been a lot of like hot red cards to me too. Like a lot of yellow cards being put out and eliminating guys from games and tournaments. I'm like, I think there should be a little bit
stupid stuff. Man.
Oh no, he did something stupid.
Yeah.
But like red cards. When you get a red card, I think.
No, Pepe did something stupid. Song from Cameroon with the elbow.
At the elbow.
Granted, he barely touched the dude though.
Barely touched the dude.
But the dude just felt he was like,
It's just like some things like that affect the tournaments as heavy as they do with that. And you got to be careful, obviously. But one of my things is that they either got to give you. If you're gonna carry a yellow card to a next match, they should at least give you another yellow card to go through all 3 of them. Like
that's not how the rules are, man.
I know that's not how the rules are, but I'm making suggestions on how I want to see something a little bit different. That's all. Because to me, like it's like you make one yellow card here, and then you make another yellow card somewhere way down the line that somebody pulled on you, like in the NBA when they pull fake fouls on you and flop or something like that.
I know, like Neymar's missing match 3 for Brazil, and it's important.
Everyone out there pulling out the Dwayne Wades and stuff in the world. There's no $5,000 fine for that in soccer right now. So it's when you're carrying over those yellow cards, to me, it's like damn. Now he's out the next match. And if they make it to the next match, now he's out. That just affects their entire game. And he made 2 egregious penalties, or however egregious the penalties were between his first game and maybe like the 7th or 8th game or something like that. That to me is kind of
aspect about it though. These guys are getting paid way more money in pounds, and like they're more valuable to their country and their teams. So like the red cards in football are dangerous. Like you can end people's careers or make them go out for a year or 2 from the injuries in soccer. Versus basketball is a more up torso sport. You have ACL injuries, but they're not as severe as soccer. Like these guys are constantly on the move. So the red cards are not only meant to make the game.
The red cards I have nothing against, because when you get a red card on something,
you've done something
foolish, and I think you deserve that. But what I'm saying is like, to me, you get a yellow card in one match. Okay, let's say you go to the next match and you get a yellow card. Now you're technically out the next match, right? But to me, it should be. You should get that second yellow card. You should be out for the rest of that game, but still able to be allowed to be in the next game after that. Unless you get that another yellow card, a third yellow card. All right, then you're done for whatever. Then at that point you institute that you're done. You're clearly not playing safe.
I mean it's just a tricky thing that they have to do. I mean, like in club, because it's one of those rules that come from club football, which makes sense because you have how many games throughout the year. right? Like 100 and something games. So when you
Yeah.
miss, you're only going to miss one game, and
Yeah.
and it
But
doesn't really
this
affect.
World Cup,
So World Cup, it's for a tournament like World Cup, maybe if you get a second, I think what it is that you can still maintain your yellow card, but if you get a second yellow card, that means you get a red. You miss that game, and then you miss the next game because you
yeah,
really are not mindful of you doing something stupid. I think that's how it should be, rather
yeah.
than you missing it just because it's two separate games.
Games, yeah, exactly.
If it's two yellow in one game, then you should then you miss the third game. That's it. That's your fault.
Yeah, 2 yellows in one game makes sense, but like if it's over a session of you get one in each game, you hit that third game, you get that one, then all right, you're out that game and you miss that that next game at that
Yeah.
point as well too, because that would make a little bit more sense. But look for example, like what's happening right now, it's to the Americans' advantage, obviously, but with Portugal, I think they lost a couple of guys to
Injury, two guys to injury, and then one guy with. Hey.
Yeah, the headbutt that's foolish, But those things happen, those things sometimes. It seems like there's got to be a better system of judgment. I would say that they got to figure out.
I mean, yeah, true. It's very true. Anyway, let's round up before we just continue World Cup discussion here and all that stuff. But I want to thank you guys for joining us and everyone for just inputting your thoughts on the topics here today. If you want to check out Mr. Warren Bowman, you can. That is his website, BW1. That is his YouTube and Twitter handle. So definitely check out his videos and all that fun stuff. Wow, there's some nice looking girls from Iran. I'm just joking. Look at he just turned. I love that.
There's nice looking girls all going through the World Cup right now.
But definitely check him out there, and also Mr. Alex Monier, site editor at Board at Work. You can check him out there. He's got videos up on there, even though you can't see him right now because his video is dead for some reason. And also check us out at Booredatwork. It's Booredatwork.com website, Booredatwork on YouTube. And this is Thunder E saying thank you and always enjoy entertainment.